Welcome back to pub.dev. Today I'm going to be showing you how to use the library called do. It basically allows you to create a lerping button of sorts. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to pub.dev and you're going to grab the most recent version and add it to your dependencies field in your pub.yaml. And then what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to import that package into whatever file you want to use it in. And then we're going to actually call the following objects in order to create our dough widget. It takes in a dough recipe widget, which basically allows you to control the stretchiness and how far you want to be able to pull the item. And then that takes a child of a pressable dough widget. And that pressable dough widget, you can basically put whatever you want. And so I'm going to do a floating action button for that. And I'm going to actually give the floating action button a child of icon. We'll do the add. And I'm actually going to make the size 40 of that icon, make it a little bit bigger. And I think that's, oh, one more thing I want to do. Let's do a simple onPressed. Print pressed button. Save that. Let's check out my emulator. Okay, so I have this button here. Looks like a normal button, but if the user were to drag it, it gets this little lerping, fun little, movement to it. And so it makes for a kind of fun little button to play with. Kind of feels like you're playing with some kind of jello of sorts. And as mentioned before, you can modify the adhesion and the viscosity. So let's say I turn the viscosity down to 100. You'll see it allows me to totally stretch it and mess with it as much as I want. The higher up we turn the viscosity, the more difficult it is to make it change from a circular shape. The lower the viscosity, the less circular it'll be, or in the case that it's a square, whatever it might be, whatever widget you're putting inside of it, it'll stretch less. The higher the viscosity, the less it'll stretch. Adhesion, if I turn adhesion down to 1, you'll see I can pretty much drag it anywhere on the screen with ease. The higher the adhesion, let's go to 10, the more difficult it is to pull it. And so depending on how you want to do that, how stiff you want it to feel, you can crank up the adhesion. If you don't want it to be stiff at all, you want it to be able to free roam almost, you can turn that adhesion down. Just know that upon releasing, it's always going to shoot right back to its initial point. So that's how you play with dough in Flutter. If you have any questions, again, message me below.